Hello, I'm Sean Sands from gamerswithjobs.com, and I am playing Shock of Shocks. If you know anything about me or our podcast, I'm playing Europa Universalis 4. I'm sharing this with you because it's a very special episode of Let's Play. It's the 1000th hour of EU4 for me, which is impressive only if you don't play a lot of Europa Universalis 4, because I know a lot of people who are hovering in that 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 hour time frame. So I'm still fairly new at it, technically. I mean, can I say that? Probably not. That's probably a lie. Today, I am playing Burgundy. And the reason I'm playing Burgundy, and I've got a game already running, is that Burgundy was the first country I played as when I first started EU4. And it's a deceptively, I don't want to call it difficult, but it's a tricky country. It's, you know, for its size, it seems like something where you'd be, you know, easy to jump in and feel pretty powerful. But the reality is that Burgundy's starting position is not necessarily an easy one. It finds itself bordered on all sides by enemies. On this side, we have Austria and the HRE, Holy Roman Empire. To the north, England, who never likes Burgundy to start. And most notably, the big blue blob, France, on its western side. Now, as you can see, that's changed a bit since the original starting point of 1444. In fact, Burgundy really starts with not all of this. Let's see, from Picardy here and over, Calais is English at the start. Champagne, Vermandois, Nemours, all of this is France. And then down here, completely disconnected, this normally belongs to Provence at the start of the game, is another part of Burgundy. These four provinces right here, and usually Vaud and Wallis, are part of Savoy, Berry, Orléans, Alencon, all part of France. We're in a different place than that. I've had several successful wars with France, and I find myself on the eve of yet another war with France. Hopefully I'm going to go ahead and start the time here. Hopefully the final crippling blow. So a couple of things happened during this game that were interesting. Dealing with that starting position as Burgundy is no easy feat. And yes, so you may notice that I'll close that window for no good reason at all. Now I'll open it back up. You may notice that I have rather unique alliances, if you're familiar with EU4, as Burgundy, in that I have both Austria and England on my side, while France finds themselves fighting with Castile and Lorraine and Foch. We are going to take Anjou. Are we going to do that? Are we going to do that? I don't know. It doesn't matter, because I'm going to humiliate them, and that's a thing to get the power projection. So we probably won't even end up taking anything except for maybe Bourbonnais and Auvergne, which are actually now vassals of Spain. Again, sort of the result of some pretty fortunate early wars with France. So we're gonna, no, you know what? We're gonna take the easy pickings here. And so what I want to do is, like I said, I really want to capture all of France here, but I'm not actually in this war to take any land. What I'm much more interested in is actually getting my power projection up. At this point, France is really in a fairly locked down position. As long as I don't do anything overly stupid and let them get back in the game, I've got them pretty much under control. Particularly at this point, in the, you know, with Austria on my side, as well as England. Thank you. I'll take the admin hit. There we go. Good start. We're going to go down here and finish this guy off. So the way we got into this position actually is that originally early on, like I say, you have some decisions to make at the start. You can try and fight the HRE. You can try and fight Spain. You can go for a more colonization route of expansion. But you don't have any easy, obvious solutions. Yeah? You want to come get me? Come on. Do it. Do it. Do it. Yes. That'll give me the defender bonus. And oh my god. France always has these killer, just vicious generals, it feels like. Particularly early on, that's one of the biggest problems, even though Burgundy is in a position to field a army that says at least France is equal. France just comes in and has these ridiculous, just ridiculous generals and troop morale and everything like that. So you really almost have to, at the start, come in with a significant advantage to really be competitive against them. Which I did, like I said, by allying Spain and Aragon early on. And so my literally the first thing I did when I started, who do I want to make nice with? Maybe Aragon a bit. What am I doing? Nope. Yes. Nope. Yes. Yeah, so I made alliances with Aragon and Spain to start the game. I immediately began fabricating a claim against France, and within 2 years at the start of the game, I was in a war with them. The reason for that is that at the beginning of the game, France is embroiled in the 100 Years' War with England. And while it doesn't, it's not often that England makes any real progress on that front, it does sort of distract them. I'm not sure I'm going to get that royal marriage back quickly. Let's take a look and see how things are going. Okay, so Wolstadt, sure, that's how that's pronounced, is thinking about defecting to Switzerland. We'll look into that. We have a few provinces under unrest. We're losing a little bit of money, but nothing to get too concerned about yet. For the most part, what I'd like to do here is actually let my allies go in and fight the brunt of this war. Now it looks like Austria has gotten himself... What are you doing over here? What are you doing in Switzerland? Oh, you're... Okay, he's knocking it down for the... The rebels took over most of Switzerland. He's helping them out. I really wish he wouldn't do that, but I think we're probably in good shape here. I'm not too worried about it. So, like I say, I don't have a lot of mercenaries. This is all coming directly out of my manpower. So I'd like to let Austria and Champagne and my vassals, I don't know if I mentioned that, I vassalized Brittany, Normandy, and Champagne. I'd like, for the most part, to let them go handle the brunt of this war so that I don't have to, which has a couple of benefits. First, obviously, is the one where I don't, lose a bunch of, where I don't lose a bunch of manpower. But better is that at some point, I'm going to have to push into Austria, even though they are my ally right now. They're the Holy Roman Emperor, and to expand eastward is inevitably going to lead to some pretty serious conflicts with Austria. So I would like to keep them, take Lyonnais, no, Versailles, Liège, I'm not going to take any of those right now. Keep them on their heels as much as possible. And one way I can do that is by making them waste their manpower in a war they didn't start. Look, it's not, not underhanded, in that it is pretty underhanded. But they seem all too eager. Look at them push on. Go get them. Looks like France is being France. He's fielding an army. He's never one to go quietly into that good night, as they say. So yeah, but there's nothing I enjoy more. Well, there's few things I enjoy more in EU4 than just dismantling France. It makes me so happy. Yeah, bring the rest of you guys, Austria. Go get them. You're doing a great job. You're the MVP of this war. Yeah, there's just few things better in the world than dismantling France, particularly since it is not an easy process early on. It's not a for sure that even if you get Spain and Aragon in your war right away, and even if England, comes back and takes a few stabs at France just for the fun of it, there's no guarantees that anything productive is going to come out of that. Let's split these guys up. I'm going to bring them over here. So early on, what I did, and the other thing you really have to be cautious of, even if you do win the war with France, you have to be cautious of getting too much aggressive expansion, which happens when you take a lot of land or you demand a huge peace deal that includes a bunch of vassals for you. Particularly in Europe, the HRE gets really nervous at that, and I've had that happen several times where I did in my first run at this particular game. I was successful. Spain and Aragon and Burgundy all just tore France apart, and I took I took all this land and then released it as a vassal, which did not work. And I took Co, and I took down here Dauphine and Lyonnais. Yeah, those were all pronounced wrong for sure. And the HRA did not care for that. And within like a year of game time, I had a coalition strike out against me involving Austria and England and about 10 of these little states here. And that was pretty much the end of that. So in this effort, I was much more cautious rather than just flat out taking vassals, I was more eager to sort of release them, make France, cancel its vassalation of Lake Bourbon and Auvergne, and instead try to diplomatically take over those areas. It just ended up working a lot better. It makes a lot of sense almost immediately. It's just an easier way of handling the situation. Nope, I won't make it, so I'll wait for him to go there. I'm looking for the little easy pickings here. Probably will go up pretty soon and lay siege to Lorraine. I'm hoping before long Austria and England are interested in pushing into Castile. Don't you do it. Don't you get in there. August 13th. I knew it. They made it. Again, I don't know how familiar everyone is with this game. So I'll talk through some of the concepts and some of what I'm thinking as I go through this. Probably half-hour war with France to cross that finish line, really to 1,000 hours. The reason I was concerned there and eager for that to end is that there's an important difference between being the attacker and the defender in a battle. And because I pushed from Charlet into Lyonnais with my force, I was the attacker. And because of that, I take some crossing penalties and I take a terrain penalty on my roll. As France reinforced with his much larger army, they still maintained their defender status, which does not have those penalties on that roll. So, even though I win the battle, which, I have no complaints about that, I actually end up taking more losses and more of a manpower hit than I necessarily would have had to if I just managed to clean out that little stack of 2,000 men before the reinforcements arrived. Not a war-ending mistake by any means, but it's those sorts of little things that actually will end up coming back to haunt you as you're playing these sorts of wars, particularly in a war with France, particularly if you're in a close war, like those, that wasn't that big a deal here. But in my previous war, early in the game, that was the sort of thing that could entirely turn the tide of battle. That's the sort of mistake that, can actually lead to is the difference between you winning the war and losing it. Not as big a deal here. So this is always delightful to me as I just watch the slow, inevitable siege of France push forward and then go into Spain. I want to think a little bit more about what my strategy is here. So I'm actually trying to go for an achievement in the long run. That achievement, I forget what it's called, but you have to proclaim a guarantee, and a guarantee is a diplomatic action that a much larger nation can do to a much smaller nation. Proclaim a guarantee against France, the Ottomans, and Russia, which I hope this will become. I hope, Muscovy seems to be doing fine, so there's every reason to think they'll be able to form Russia later in the game. Which you might notice, with the exception of France, only because I've had several wars at them, those are not small nations. So that's, hence the achievement of it. What I want to be able to do is relatively quickly get out of having to fight this war, these various wars, get France down to a really, really manageable size. I'll probably keep like Ile-de-France within my own borders so I can... I'll lose something up here. So I can come back and just guarantee them at any point. But then, obviously, it's time to push out against the Ottomans and Muscovy. And all of that is this direction, which means that the next major conflicts are really going to be with Austria. My plan for the Ottomans is actually to come down through the Italian peninsula, and then lay claims over here in like Albania and Epirus and places like that, and push in from here rather than trying to go through the big chunk of Austria and, what was Hungary and is now Transylvania, and Poland and Lithuania. I don't know, depending on how that goes, I may just push through the Ottomans and come up from the south through Georgia and Crimea into Russia from there. But the danger, of course, is that Russia gets really, really big really quick. So they can, that can become a massive country and will probably be the hardest part of this particular run. But that's what I'm thinking. That's what the plan is. That's what I'm hoping to accomplish with my Burgundy run here. So yeah. So, which makes me to some degree rethink whether, okay, guys, you're not doing enough sieging. Come on. You're better than this. It makes me rethink whether I actually do want to spend quite as much time, instead lose the time going after the power projection. Ooh. Okay. Well, those of you who have been watching carefully know I've been giving away administrative power probably for months now. You can stop yelling at me. I see it now. What do I want to do with that? Just boost my stability. And probably build a couple of buildings. Put there, put there. Yeah. Keep that economy flowing. There we go. Okay. I got to remember to go back and look at that in a minute. So, yeah, so I kind of have a choice here. I can either be patient, play the power projection game, which would lead to France basically staying the same size it is now. The benefit to that is that at higher power projections, there's better trade power, you have more morale, you get extra military, diplomatic, and administrative power, which is really, really tempting. But at the same time, I wonder if I'd like to just see France get trimmed down to size so I can start focusing on my eastern expansion. I don't know. All right, we're going to think about that. Peace offer from Lorraine. Do I want anything from Lorraine right now? And again, I have to think here about my aggressive expansion. So if I, say, took Lothringen here, or Metz, I don't think I'll be able to take... No, I could only take Metz because Lothringen is their capital. And I'm not going to full annex them. If I end up taking that, and then maybe I take Bourbon and Auvergne from Spain, and then I take Anjou and maybe Lyonnais over here, all of a sudden that's going to make places like Savoy, which already are a little sketchy on me, all the more upset. So yeah, it's a balance, and that's sort of like what I love about this game. It's those decisions. It's sort of those. It's not. I mean, the war is obviously going on, and it's fun to kind of move troops and have that whole experience of managing a war and organizing your troops. And by the way, things seem really well in order now. But I love those quiet decisions, those balances between one benefit and another that are not they're not easy. They're not always easy questions to answer. Oh. Ah. Well, that was dumb of me. All right, so we'll keep Lorraine in the mix for a little while longer. So you have to make these calls. Like, if my long-term goal is to take over this massive swath of land, I really do have to be focused on expansion. But at the same time, if I expand too fast, too quick, then inevitably it's going to, it's going to cause a rift. What I might do, I don't think I'm going to go with the humiliate option. I think I am going to either make them give up some land or release some more vassals or take a little bit here and there. I'll probably give Labour to England here. I think it's still one of their cores. Yeah, they haven't been forced to give up that core. All right, so I can kind of let that just play out on its own. Spain has a decent blockade here, but I'm not really in the mood to fight it. You are just begging to get blown up. Please stop. How is the siege of Metz? Switzerland's still doing okay. No concerns there. I think now I will take Lyonnais. If anybody wants to correct me on that, Lyonnais, by all means, because I no doubt that it's not pronounced the way I'm pronouncing it. Get a couple of trade depots. The one that's always interesting to me, and I looked it up, and they assure me, by they I mean the internet, so guaranteed it's an accurate statement. The one that's always interesting to me is this country right down here. Which is this right here, which apparently, for forever, like a lot of streamers that I watch, called that foie. Apparently, it's called fauche. There's like this whole sh sound at the end of it. I don't know how that works, but that was it's been fun occasionally to try and look up and understand how these places are pronounced. All right. That's coming along nicely. Austria's... So who is Austria-Hungary allied with? Everybody. They're allied with everybody. That's great news. That is not great news. So the plan to get Austria has got to be to probably wait for a good opportunity, wait till they're in another war, and then attack one of the HRE, somebody like leadership here, who doesn't. Nope, he's got a lot of allies. Who doesn't have a lot of allies? Yeah, somebody like Aachen here, who doesn't have a lot of allies, but who will call Austria into the war, because if you attack the HRE, and they made a lot of changes. It's much harder now to ally Austria and just use that as an excuse to go blow up all the little HRE states without getting them involved. Austria considers itself essentially, it takes much more seriously that Holy Roman Emperor moniker than it used to. So you can't sort of massage the system to get into lots of really easy wars without Austria getting involved. Oh, I like this. They're getting invaded. So Mantua, Venice, Venice, Siena, Tuscany, Modena, and Brandenburg. So you see, this is the sort of thing I want to see. Austria is at war with a large swath of Europe, which is just going to put them in a tricky position to come back and defend their territory. All the better because they're stuck over here in the Iberian Peninsula, sieging down stuff. Haha, caught it. No, stop. I did not waste admin points this time. I am proud of myself. Let's just build some workshops here. Not a ton of money, but doing all right. What are we missing? We need an advisor. I don't want a stability cost. Actually, maybe I do. And then I'll spend some more to get that second boost. See, I mean, I got to find a way to spend these points because I don't want to dump it into, 70% more cost for this tech upgrade. There's just no point in that. So even though I really could end this war right now, I do want it to linger on just to keep Austria at least somewhat focused over here. I would love to see, like Siena and Venice just come over here and really create some problems for them. Not only does that, well, let's watch this. Oh yeah, and Austria is the attacker into mountains. They're taking a -2. Their general's not as good. But they're definitely not going to win this battle. These sorts of things really just painful for them. Allies, allies lost. Oh no! Oh, what a bummer! I really thought you were going to do it, Austria. You tried real hard. What do we want to do with Lorraine here? Do I have any claims? Champagne has a claim. Beautiful. That's what we're going to do. We're going to give it to Champagne. Let's bring you back from Cologne. And we will give this to my vassal, Champagne, who we are probably going to annex pretty soon. All right. How bad is the aggressive expansion on that? Not great. Yeah, okay. So again, got to be real careful here. I think I'm tap dancing pretty close to having to start worrying about a coalition, but at the same time, so who's the attacker here? Oh, no. Now see, this is again the important. Like they have twice as many men. And this is going to be, a really close battle. In fact, Austria will probably win this one because those modifiers for attacking into them. Now they're definitely, if they're reinforcing, that's a definite loss for the Allies won. Yay! It's very exciting. You gotta be so thoughtful of the terrain that you're getting into, and Aragon is having a tough time over here. I will take the admin hit. Yeah, definitely. Whoa, really? You're gonna just insult me? Just like, hey, we really like you, you big stupid idiot. It's not cool. Thought we were closer than that. You're tiny, and the Holy Roman Emperor's in 2 wars. Do you really think anybody's going to come to your aid? So tempted. But nope, stay on target. Like I said, this doesn't bother me much that Castile is kind of moving around and cleaning out some of Austria's smaller stacks. Just does more damage to manpower, and really this war's already over. We're just holding the line. Stop attacking into the mountains. 45-10. And it's going to be close. It's going to be close because not only is there the modifier of the mountains, but there's also a river crossing that's just... This is a bad idea for an attack. Fortunately, Austria's all but out of manpower. So this is going to go well. The other thing that means is that we can pretty easily wage a war into, thinking Milan. Yeah. Can I fabricate a claim? No, I can't. Do I have a claim? No, I don't. Savoy? Who are you allied with? Tuscany. Tuscany's right there. So that really doesn't scare me very much. Can't fabricate a claim. Do I have a claim? Savoy, no. Yes, on Piedmont. Yeah, so I'm already thinking about the next war. Might be time to go ahead and wrap this one up. Let's see what if Spain's interested in piecing out. I would like to see them break their alliance. No. Nope. They still think they have a shot. So we'll keep waiting. And just keep boosting. Edge I'm not worried about. Go ahead and make nice with Aachen for a bit. Rebels still aren't much of a problem. Even if they were, my manpower is real good. Good opportunity to spend a little more money, spend down that admin points. And this is what I want to see. You know, this is never can get enough of France just totally siege down. But this is the part where I'm really at an interesting crossroads. Because right now there's a huge advantage to having Austria, who, loves me, 100% friendly here. Huge advantage to having them on my side. But at the same time, the longer I maintain that peace with them, the longer I maintain that alliance with them, the more powerful they stand to become, but also the longer it's going to take me to finally start an eastern expansion. At some point, you just have to take a chance and kind of, dive in head first. I think now might be that time. Nope. No, thank you, France. I'm fine. Okay, so now we're getting call for peace, which means my war exhaustion is only going to go up, which means it probably is time to get out of this war. So I think I'm going to let Spain off the hook here. I want to focus my attention on France. So what do we want? Peace. When do we want it? Now? Maybe? I don't want you to have a treaty with Castile. Do I want you to have a treaty with Castile? So if I break my alliance with Austria, is there the risk that France and Austria will team up and become best buddies? There is, because they don't rival each other right now, which is a scary proposition. It's much less likely to happen if they're allied with Castile, because Castile is considered, I assume, a great nation. So having these two have an alliance makes an alliance between France and Austria less likely. And I'm not that worried about Castile. Castile's going to be focused on exploration anyway, so they aren't going to be really, after a war machine very much. I think I'm going to let them keep their alliance. I'm going to take Lyonnais to complete the mission. Do I want to give anything to my vassals? Let's see. Or do I want to focus on maybe more getting them to release some nations? Nope. Ooh, I do kind of like that. Avignon. Where's Avignon? Oh, down there. I am going to get them to give that to England. Maybe I'm not going to get them to release nations. So, going to give that to England. Laborde will go to England. England's like, yeah, Laborde, that's one of our favorite places. I bet they have a core. No, they've lost their core in Gascony. At the beginning of the game, England has Normandy, Caux, Calais, Gascony, and Laborde here. And they almost lose it right away in the 100 Years' War. But they do usually maintain their cores there. So even like, nope, they don't have one in Caux. And Normandy, yeah, the board's the only one they still have. So we're going to give that to England. And oh, interesting. Now that is interesting. What if I got them to give a bunch of stuff to Provence? That won't cause me aggressive expansion, but it will set me up to have a nice war with Provence and take that land from them. So I wouldn't take the aggressive expansion hit now, but I would be setting it up. And maybe... do I want... Now is a good time to flat out take land, because I can spend the... You have to core those lands, which cost admin power, and I'm running pretty flush on admin power right now. So I am going to take Bourbon. I'm going to make them give up Dauphine. I'm going to take Lyonnais. I'm going to make them give up Labourd. Oh, no, I'm not going to do that. Which one of those things? So what if they didn't? What if they didn't give up one of these cores? Yeah. Okay. It doesn't look like a lot, but they're really fairly big and important moves that will just continue to sort of weaken and cripple France. Yeah, so I think that's the peace deal. It's not going to cost me a lot of aggressive expansion. It uses the full peace offer value of 100%. I get out of the war with still a lot of manpower and in a position to immediately turn around and push into the HRE. Yeah, let's do it. All right. Hooray! We won a war against France. Oh, and wonderful. I get exactly the mission that I was sort of hoping for. Yeah, because we're going to turn around and move north to take Aachen at the earliest opportunity. Cool. So, that's, I think that puts us over the 1,000-hour mark. You know, if you're a fan of EU4, there are a few things better than just you know, doing more damage to France. France is the bully of this game, and normally what happens, particularly if you're not playing Burgundy, France has cores on at the start of the game. This is all considered French region, I think. So if the King of Burgundy dies, all this land gets split between Austria and France. And usually, unless Austria just has a really strong game, France will be from here on the coast of Brittany all the way up into the lowlands, which eventually do form the Netherlands most of the time, south through Provence. They always get a mission to take Savoy here, and you know they hold through Fauch and Toulouse and Armagnac and Labourd. Usually Navarre ends up either Spain, Castile, or Aragon, or Spanish if the two merge. So France becomes, because these are all super rich provinces. We're talking like 15 base tax, 8 base tax, 6 base tax, 9 base tax, 7 base tax. These are crazy rich provinces, particularly if you compare it to somewhere like, you know, over here in Serbia, where it's like 4, 3, 2, 3. Poland's got 2. There's a 6. Lithuania 4, 3. It's a dramatically rich area, which means they just have tons of money and lots of power and lots of troops, and it gets real messy. So yeah, we destroyed France. Let us see if that brings us to the 1,000-hour mark. I'm going to exit this game. Ta-da! And there we go. 1,000 hours of Europa Universalis 4. Bet these guys don't have that long. No. 1,000 hours. So, thanks for joining me. Not sure why you did, but hopefully it was entertaining. It's been 1.5 years since this game came out. Still can't recommend it enough. If you haven't played it, you know, definitely give it a try. Yeah, it takes a long time to kind of get over that hump of understanding how to play, but it's just so worth it. I just, you know, as just a world simulator, it is. Well, it's given me 1,000 hours of fun. Until then, though, this is Sean Sands from GamersWithJobs.com and the Gamers with Jobs conference call. Thanks for joining me. Hope you found it interesting, and we will see you next time.